Hello there. So today I want to talk about myself. A lot of you all already know me. I make music, I do a couple of things, all right? And for some of you who follow me, our connection goes way back, all right? But I still have this question every now and then. Someone would ask, what is the meaning of Drazz? What is the meaning of Francois? And for the record, it is neither pronounced Francois or Francisco or Francisco, not even San Francisco, it is Francois. And today I want to talk about how the name came about and permit me to share this very short story with you. Back in my secondary school days, Tugo, the app, I think it's about like the first social media app that got released or something. But I had a lot of my classmates jump on Tugo and they were creating profiles at the time, and we had Lil Doc, Lil Chucky, we had this that just funny names and stuff. And then I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to get on Tugo as well, but the name that I'm going to use, whatever name that I will use on Tugo, is going to be eventually my music name, my stage name. Everything about me is going to center around that name. And at the time, I remember the band. So DBANJ, I got to learn that DBANJ is actually the acronym for Dapo Oye Banjo. I don't know if I pronounced it right. I'm Ibibio, not Yoruba. All right, but so I was inspired by that. I was like, this guy made this nice sounding name from just his real name, his initials, and this is great, right? And so I wrote out my name, David Francis, which is my actual name, all right? David Francis. And then I took the D from David, and I took the RA from Francis, and obviously the consonant sound like the Z, like David Francis. So the Drazz, that's where I got it from. So we now have Drazz François, Drazz, all right? But the Francois there's another story for this, and the story is that I happen to be an only son to my parents circumstantially, all right, because I lost two brothers before now, God rest his soul. And but the thing is, my dad also, at the age of 10, I am told, he lost his father. And his father was a successful businessman. He was a fisherman at the time. I mean, that was a trade at the time. But he would go to Cameroon, he would shuttle Cameroon and Nigeria. And so he got murdered at sea by his own kinsmen. And I think there was, or maybe there still is, a law at the time. If you got murdered at sea, your dead body is not going to be brought back to your homeland. You're going to be buried wherever you got murdered and stuff. So my grandfather's remains, that's my dad's father, he was buried in the shores of Cameroon. And then my dad shared this story with me with tears in his eyes, and as he recounted the experience, that at the age of 10, he had to travel all the way back to Cameroon alone. He had to sail to Cameroon just to get some earth from his father's grave and bring back as a memorial for him, because at the time he had no brothers. He happened to be an only son to his father and to his mother as well. So he did that, and that story was so inspiring to me and so sad at the same time, because I mean, imagine a 10-year-old sailing to Cameroon to get the earth from his father's grave and then coming back and all of that. And as he shared it to me, I was like, okay. So I decided to pick up Francois, which is just a French version of Francis, in commemoration of the story that my father shared with me many years ago. And ever since then, my father has, not before then, but I mean, it just solidified the heroic idea of my dad in my childhood head at the time, in my child mind at the time. And I love my father and I respect him a lot. And I suppose that he doesn't know. And I'm going to find a way to tell him. I have to communicate this with him before he passes, because the other thing that happens, most of us, some of us like me, grew up with a bit of a distance from our dads and stuff like that, and we never had this real relationship with them, right? And we always want to say, Dad, I love you, Mom, I love you, but we cannot say, because it's like, back then, how do you tell your father I love you or something? Where I come from, it's not just done. right? But I want to tell him that I love him. And if you're out there like me and you long to tell your father, you long to tell your mother that you love him, but your upbringing doesn't really allow for that kind of bonding and relationship, I think you should, because time is very little and it is of essence. All right. So, from my heart to you, I am Drazz François, and this story is made just for you. I love you.